have to tell the client machines that we don't want them to go to Microsoft Update. We want them to go to our Wsus server. That way we control, yes, this is approved, yes, this is approved, nope, this isn't approved, this one isn't approved, and it can send it out to the various groups. So we have to set up group policies to make it so that our Wsus clients know that they're Wsus clients, that they're supposed to go to the Wsus server, and then we have a whole bunch of other options available for them as well. So I am going to fire off, let's see, I'm on the domain controller, so let's go ahead and fire off our group policy management wizard. So we'll fire off group policy management. And you want to have documentation. Some people have group policies just for Wsus. Other companies have just one group policy. That way they only have to pull down one and it's all approved and all those other things. Whatever it takes. But what I have is I have a group policy that I've created, and I've self-documented, calling it the Doug GPO, so everybody knows that it's mine. And I'm going to edit it. And the location that we're going to go through and look at, let me go ahead and bring this up. Got to do this real quick. There we go. So we have two areas in group policies. We have computer configuration, we have user configuration. There are settings for both of them, but they're kind of the same settings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into computer configuration. We'll go into policies. We'll go into administrative templates. We will go into Windows components. And then all the way down here, just about at the bottom, so let me slide this down. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, must have let go of my mousey too soon. There we go. We have Windows Update. So it's not quite exactly at the bottom, but it's quite a ways down there. So we'll go ahead and open it up. And these are all of our 900 billion settings. The ones that we need to be aware of is we need to specify where the Wsus server is located. And in fact, the author over on page 330 went through and told you about this one. And what we want to do is we want to figure out the intranet Microsoft Update Service location. So we'll double click on it. And we're going to say it is enabled. And then we put in the URL to be able to gain access to this. We'll say http:// and then I will say London DC 2 r2.contoso.com. And you can also have a statistics server. This statistics server writes down information about what you have and what you've downloaded, what you've uploaded. It's part of your reporting. And again, you could also just send it to the same machine if both of these are on the same machine. Otherwise, you're going to have to send it to separate machines, which is perfectly fine. So that is the first one, where you'll specify where the Wsus server is. Another one that we have to worry about is joining groups. Now, as an administrator, I could go into the Wsus console, find all 10,000 machines, and figure out which group they belong to. Or if my Active Directory structure is set up where I have organizational units configured and user accounts configured, and they're all inside of there, well, with an organizational unit, I have the ability to go in and I can set up different group policies per OU, per OU, per OU. So that means that if you're underneath an organizational unit, let's say we have an organizational unit for marketing, we have an organizational unit for infrastructure servers, I have an organizational unit for exchange servers, where I'm going through and sorting it, I can go in and I can apply a different group policy to either point them to a different Wsus server, or we can use this for client-side targeting so that they know what group to belong to automatically. And let me go ahead and show you this. So we'll go back into our system here. And what we're doing is we have to enable client-side targeting. And when you do client-side targeting, you will specify which group you belong to, ENGINERING, and you only specify one. It's not like you're going to give them a choice where they can pick this one or this one or this one. No, we are just going to go through and say, client-side targeting, if you're under this group policy, you're going to belong to engineering. A cool thing about this is that you can nest organizational units. So I could have an OU that says exchange, And then underneath this Exchange organization, you're going to have some Exchange servers. And then I have a special Unity server that we're doing, but I don't want to receive necessarily the same updates and service packs. So I make another OU underneath there. And then I put a group policy on that sub OU, give it a different client-side target. And now, even though everybody here goes to engineering, the ones down here, or I'm sorry, Exchange, the ones down here would go to a group called Cisco Unity or something like that. So you can make them self-populate by using a group policy. However, this does assume that you have your Active Directory structure set up to represent how you go through and do administrative control, administrative management. And once you have all these pieces in place, you know where all the machines are, then you can enable client-side targeting.